Hi Sumeet, so good to see you.
Good to speak to you today.
I have heard so much about you. I had to call you, and I really wanted to have this chat about you and your journey. I heard engineering design, say you went to teaching and then to production, then HR. You've taken a long way around, Sumeet, don't you think?
I think Kapur, the long way around taught me the most. At that time, I didn't realize it. But every experience, whether it was teaching mechanical engineering or considering ecotourism at one point of time, they added layers to who I am today. So, spending time in Shimla, coming home to my dog, and having the time to think it all, it gave me a different perspective on life. So those moments were investments in me, right? So life isn't a straight line. It's a series of moments that prepare you for the next opportunity, even if you don't know it at that point of time.
So, you started your journey at RPG as an assistant manager despite having years of experience and impressive qualification. Did that ever feel unfair?
It did for a brief moment, surely. I remember thinking, why am I starting at the same level as freshers when I've had so much experience before this? But then I asked myself, why should RPG or any other company for that matter kind of value me for an unrelated past, and especially if I'm here to build something new, right? So credentials for that matter are just that, they're just credentials, right? So what really mattered was proving myself and contributing functionally, meaningfully. I think once I shifted the focus inwards and I stopped comparing, it became easier to put my head down and get to work.
You've moved so many roles so many times, interning with Zensar, moving to RPG Enterprises, then to CAT, doing talent acquisition, and so many other roles, now heading a plant. You're a GM at Nagpur. How do you manage to keep saying yes to every new challenge, Sumeet?
So it's simple. I trust the process. And the process is that every time an opportunity comes to me, I don't necessarily overthink it. I've been very lucky to have leaders who've taken a chance on me, but I also made it a point to embrace the discomfort of starting fresh, right? Growth happens when you walk out of your comfort zone, even when it's scary. And I found that every yes adds something really valuable to your journey. So you had once said that time spent with my dog in Shimla meant more than more to me than traditional career timeline. What did you mean by that? I think it's about valuing what matters in the long run, right? So I could have rushed into climbing the corporate ladder back then, but those days back home in Shimla, teaching, spending time with my family, bonding with my dog, these are moments that I won't trade for anything. So success is not always just about moving ahead at full speed, right? It is most importantly about savoring the journey. Those slower years, no, Purva, they helped me build depth and resilience, and I'm sure I draw on these strengths the most today. Looking at your career now, what do you think helped you grow so quickly at RPG? So two things. One is the willingness to take a leap, and secondly, the culture of RPG. When I say the culture, I mean different leaders in RPG. For example, Venki, Milin, they've all taken a punt on me. So that speaks to the culture of RPG. And they've taken a punt on me, giving me opportunities that I wasn't prepared for at that point of time, right? So I just made sure that I said yes, and I did my best. So I think when organizations trust their people and people trust themselves, amazing things happen. You've said before that you see life as a series of flukes or accident. You really believe that, Sumit? I do. I think life is a mix of flukes and a lot of hard work. So there's a larger design at play which it is impossible to understand at our capacity at this moment, right? So that is something that can be seen in hindsight, not necessarily in foresight. So when I was rejected by General Electric because I lacked some depth in mechatronics, right? Or when I fumbled into HR. So these are kind of flukes, but they've definitely made the journey possible, right? So but when I look back today, I see how everything fell into place, like a beautifully orchestrated domino. Uh, and therefore, I mean, when you withdraw a little, you look at it from a bird's eye view, you can see the domino. But at that point of time, what I was referring to is perhaps you don't understand what the larger design is, right? So what you can really control is your effort, is your mindset, and then your ability to embrace what comes your way, right? The rest of it, that's what we are referring to as life's design, right?
Wow, wow. You've had success, but do you ever look at your peers and feel like you've taken longer than them?
Not at all. So some of my school, college peers, they've grown to really senior positions. They're doing fantastically well in their lives, right? But they didn't have the same journey as me, and I'm not having the same journey as them, right? So we spoke about how I had the time to spend with my family back home, right? Those experiences have shaped who I am. So it's not a race, right? It's about building a life that's meaningful to you. And honestly, I wouldn't trade my journey for anyone else's.
Absolutely. What's one piece of advice Sumit would give to someone who feels stuck or left behind in their career?
So I'd say don't rush. I'd say don't compare. Right. So every experience, even the ones that feel like detours, right? They all add up ultimately. So if you focus on building yourself, your skills, your values, your resilience, right? You'll find that when the time is right, when the right opportunity comes, you'll be ready. So it's not about how fast you move again. It's about the foundation that you build.
So what do you think is the secret to staying so grounded while growing?
I think gratitude, Apurva. I've been lucky to have mentors and opportunities, but I've also made it a point to reflect on what I have, not just what I want. So whether it's a role I loved or a chaotic one like talent acquisition when I moved into it, I've tried to give it my best. And most importantly, I've been grateful for the chance that I've had. I'm grateful for a lot of things in life.
Achha, I won't take a lot of your time. Finally, I really want to ask you, Sumeet, that if you had to sum up your philosophy in one line, what would it be?
So life is like stock market, right? So, and where you are one stock among billions, billions, gazillions, right? So I say just keep investing in yourself, keep your fundamentals right. You can't really time when the market will appreciate or when you'll start having that exponential growth. But if you keep building your fundamentals, it'll definitely happen. Just trust the process.
Wow, that's amazing, Sumit. You've no idea. You've made my morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Apurva. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
So देखा, some journeys don't follow a straight line, and that's what makes them unforgettable. This was Sumeet Larzoo, a GM at RPG Group. He had meteoric growth, not because he had it all figured out, but because he stayed open to every opportunity and kept moving forward. I really hope that you like this video. See you next time. Bye.